This is the Kashcroe Radio Show. Now your hosts, Andre Russell, and cohorts, Shaquan and Darren.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the Kashcroe Radio Show, your home for all things video game entertainment. And today we're going to talk about this onset remake fatigue in video games. Also, we're going to talk about what's going on with the games industry and Russia. With me today is my co-host Shaquan. Darren couldn't be with us today, but let's jump in. Hey, yo, Shaquan, what's good?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm chilling, bro. Yo, so today we're just going to talk about this whole, I guess, renaissance of remakes and like your thoughts about that. Like, what do you think about that, bro?
I think we spoke a little bit about like Resident Evil 4 before, and it was just like, I was just thinking like, what can you really do for Resident Evil 4? Because with Resident 1 and 2, like, the modern Resident Evils, the camera has changed,
right?
So, and that's a significant change, like from a static camera to an over the shoulder. But the over the shoulder started with Resident Evil 4, so you could say that that's the beginning of the modern ones. So like before, it's like, cool, you're modernizing the old ones, but now what do you do if it's already modern?
Right?
Is it just gonna be like, because apparently it's not just a master, it's supposed to be like somewhat of a complete overhaul, and I don't know.
What are they planning on doing? I'm wondering. But then, if you're gonna go first person now with Resident Evil 4, isn't that going to be almost like a rehashing of?
I don't think they can do that. Did they say they're gonna do that?
No. I'm just saying, like, that's the only change
they could do.
I think they could do.
I don't think people would take very kindly to it, because the thing with, like, sure, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, they're all like great games, but I think Resident Evil 4 occupies a space where it's like it's very cherished as is,
right?
So it can go really, really wrong if you change like something that people don't like.
Yeah. But
I will say that I kind of expected more like of a backlash when it came to like Final Fantasy VII,
right? Because
that's a classic among classics.
And they overhauled it, right?
They completely overhauled it, and everybody loved it. But once again, that's going from like a retro style to a more modern thing, and Resident Evil 4 is already kind of in that modern era. So it's like, I want to see what they're going to do, but at the same time, if it's just like little changes here or there, then I don't know, like, are they going to make it look more next gen? Like,
but it's that would still be considered a remaster as opposed to a remake.
Yeah. So and they did say it's a remake, right? Fuck. We're just gonna have to see. But I'm literally at a complete loss as to what they could do to make it better than it was before, or to make it a significant enough change that it warrants me paying $60 or $40, whatever the case maybe is. If it's just like a new skin, like changing out textures to make them cleaner or whatever the case may be, that's not a remake. That's not a $60 game. That's not a $40 game. That's like a $20, $30 something. That's a add-on or something like that. They got to add something else to make it like, because I think with Resident Evil 2 or 3 they added like a little mini game thing to it.
But people didn't. I feel like the fan base was split with that game, with Resident Evil 3, the remake.
Right.
Because some were saying it was either too short or the mechanics were a little off.
Right. Listen, I don't know what they're going to do. They can try. I'm not opposed to remakes, but that specific title is like one that's just like looking from the eyes of like a developer. I'm just not really sure what direction they could go in it that would be like universally welcome. So with like, I know Darren was looking forward to Metal Gear Solid, right? Because like the Metal Gear Solid 2, it looks pretty, like, it's polygons, it's a great game, but it's polygons. So it's like, that could be, if
that warrants a remake.
Exactly. I don't know if Resident Evil 4 does. So, but there are definitely games that like I would definitely get a remake for. If not even just a remake, like a remaster, it's completely fine with me. Like there's certain games, like last week, I don't think we said this on the podcast, but we mentioned it to each other. But we were reminiscing about like Total Overdose and like that little era of like very fun, very kind of like
very stylistic video games.
Yeah, so I could imagine like that making a comeback with like games like those, I should say, not like that specific title, but like games like those having like some sort of a remaster to make it like more polished and look better, like not like the GTA one that came out the other day for what?
That's my question too, right? We're talking about that. So what do you think about all these like supposed remakes of games that came out like pretty much last year when you think about it?
Well, with San Andreas and that was like a while ago.
That
so
I can
like,
see.
So
San Andreas was like PS2 era, so I could get that.
Right, but they didn't even do that well.
Right.
At all.
So why would you remake? Do you think it makes sense? Like, that's the question I want to ask. I'm not even going to pose a statement. Do you think it makes sense for them to remake Grand Theft Auto 5 for like the 7th time?
It's not at this point. I don't even know if it's a remake. It's just like they're probably just gonna upscale it and just add like some little features. Because I remember when it was like the Xbox One and PS4 era, they added like, you can go in first person mode, and then you could they had like new optional missions where you could like take drugs and become an animal or something like that. And it's like, so I feel like they're gonna, it was like a peyote mission. You do peyote and you turn into a fucking I think he turned into Franklin's dog at one point. But I don't know, like at this point everyone sees it for what it is, where like you're kind of, or even if that's not what it is, let's say we give them the benefit of the doubt and it's not them just trying to milk a fucking cash cow right now.
Right.
How long do you think you can like do that before people like have some type of negative reaction? Where I know kids not gonna stop buying them shark cards and stuff like that. They're always gonna make money from that. But bro, like at least it would hurt less, or it would seem less fishy if they were to like officially announce like a GTA 6 and we get to see that and they're like, oh, in addition to GTA 6, we're upscaling GTA 5. Then it would like be less of a blow. But the fact that we haven't had any new content since I was in the 12th grade, like do something else, man. It could be like they had the the story mission. There was like an online story mission the other day. I didn't play it.
Oh, for the Dr. Dre?
Yeah, like that is like, okay, I feel like that's still like maybe a step in the right direction.
I feel like that's what they should have like left and waited, like upscale.
They been doing stuff like that. Or they could have just said, hey, we're putting that on next gen, if you want that. Like, then again, I don't know if that would have been big enough of a
DLC or an event.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I don't think it would be big enough to sell me to buy GTA 5 again on a Series X. And
like, why not just give it away for free? Like, come on, people already own them.
Then Xbox, what happened to smart delivery? Because the Xbox said that you didn't have to like. So a
lot of them. I feel like there's a select few titles that have the smart delivery, and I don't really see Xbox really marketing it like that anymore because. They did it at the beginning of the Series X's and S's, like when they came out,
right? But
I don't really hear them talking about it anymore.
Like, I don't know if it's like an Xbox thing or if it's like the developer themselves have to also opt into it or whatever the case may be. But I know that the technology is there, and once you've introduced something like that, it kind of makes me not feel like. It makes me feel like I'm getting robbed if I go and buy a GTA 5 again. Like, I don't know. So, Rockstar, I don't know. They must know what they're doing, but
you think they have something in the works? Like, they already announced GTA 6. I know
they're working on like everybody knows they're working on GTA 6, but like, what is it going to be? And I've said this before to friends of mine and stuff like that, but GTA 5, it was such a like the big draw towards GTA 5 was like the scale of it, where it's like, we got this wide map and it's like you can go from here to here and it's just like, it's beautiful and you can virtually do anything. Still definitely beautiful, still can do all of that. So what's next? What do you add onto that? Are you gonna scale it down to make it more artistic, or are you gonna like like double down and make like
go all out,
a huge fucking world. Maybe you can visit different areas where.
So that's the rumor I heard, though. The rumor I heard was that they would probably consider having like you fly from like Los Santos or Vice City to Liberty City, and that would be some insane shit when you think about it, bro.
It would. And because even in the opening part of GTA 5, that little area right there is kind of fully rendered. Like it has like places that you can go to besides the story part,
right?
But they don't have like there's nobody. I guess empty, but it's like it's a whole place. So I feel like they could have even done that in GTA 5 if they wanted to, like because people were like. They have a bunch of Easter eggs and stuff like that that make it seem like there's something deeper going on.
Right. With the aliens.
Definitely that. There's like an alien under ice or something like that in that first little area right there. And it's like you have all of these things and you would rather milk us for GTA Online rather than expand on the things that people already were interested in. Like you could expand that area, like have like a prequel part to it and like go back to that area and do something over there. Who knows? Like there's something there. But I think it gives credence to the idea that you could probably go back in for like I think that's a cool idea at the very least.
Right. But you know what it is? I feel like the fact that online play is hot right now too. Online play is at like had the high, especially we're in the pandemic. But prior to that experience that you had in Grand Theft Online was unlike anything you've ever really experienced anywhere else.
Right.
So from a business standpoint, I can understand why they would like milk that.
But my thing is, I don't think they're doing it in like the right way because right now, like. All right, I understand it's Grand Theft Auto and like what could you really expect from Grand Theft Auto Online because Grand Theft Auto offline is chaos. So of course online is going to be like you add the human element to that, it's going to be even more chaos. But I feel like it's too chaotic for its own good. And right now it's like it's either you've already been playing it for however long and you get tired of it or that's it because now Darren was saying it like you have to have all this money to even start doing because they have missions like even the mission that they put out the other day you have to buy a property to start the mission because you start the mission and you don't start it from your home, you start it from inside a building or whatever. You have to pay for that building and that building costs X amount of money that you can only get if you do like a fuck ton of missions and shit. So it's like a rabbit hole that is like it bars access from like it's too much things that you have to go through as like a casual player,
right?
And I don't think they have enough. I don't think they have enough people who are willing to do that. It's like the fan base that they have is just the fan base they're going to forever have. And if you notice online, what has been really popular is the role play servers on like PC and stuff like that. So people make their own servers and it's still GTA 5, but it's like they have rules set in place for interaction. So if somebody like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's like as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong, whatever. Feel free to correct me in the comments over at Kashcroe Radio Show at youtube.com. But as far as I'm aware, like whoever owns the server or runs the server, you have mods and stuff like that who pay attention to like what's the type of behavior that's going on. If you if you go against the rules of the server, like they just kick you. And I don't know how you would implement that on the actual online for the console and stuff like that.
You'd have to have a whole lot of mods, bro.
Right, but the online servers are, I feel like that's a good, like how that's working. If that's how GTA Online was, where people probably have their own roles and stuff like that, and then you have rules.
I just had an idea. That's low-key job creation right there, bro. Yeah. You can have people be mods and you pay them.
I don't know if Rockstar would want to do that.
Honestly. They wouldn't, but I'm saying that's an idea.
I think a good part about a lot of and this kind of goes back into even the remake conversation that we were having earlier. Community is like, that's something that you have to foster. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it be the podcast that we're doing right now, whether it be music, whether it be, like once you have a community that believes in something, like they'll self-regulate to a certain point.
Right.
So back with Resident Evil 4, there's already like something that people might consider a definitive remake or remaster for Resident Evil 4, where like it's just two people, nobody's paying them, it's just two people, I think in Europe or something like that just went back, completely either changed or made their own like textures for Resident Evil 4, and it looks like an entirely like new game. It looks like completely next gen, and it's just people doing it for free. I wish I could remember the name of it so I could shout them out, but it looks completely like next gen, and they're doing it free of cost. The people that are doing online servers on GTA 5, they're doing these just because it's interesting to them, just because it's fun for them. And GTA Online, like, sure, I guess it has its community or whatever, but it's like it's not welcoming to other people who want to probably jump back in. Like, me going home and logging on to GTA Online does not seem like fun right now. That doesn't seem like an appealing thing for me. So I don't know what kind of like communities people are trying to create for these remakes, what kind of because people are going to play it regardless the first couple of days, but are they going to keep that? Are they going to keep people playing? Like, we have people playing Elden Ring. I can see people playing Elden Ring for like a while. Like, there's so much content. It's like, how much content can you get from these remakes?
Right. If you're not going to add anything and just like...
Right. You just probably put like a little polish on it or something like that.
So that's the question now, right? At what point do you think people are going to say, you know what, screw all these remakes, give me something new?
Honestly, I don't think that that's going to happen in the sense that I don't think it's going to be like, oh, we're just going to sit down and everyone's just going to refuse to buy remakes. It's probably just going to come to a point where somebody drops something, it's so bad that whichever company happens to be in the line of fire is gonna either their stock is gonna drop, they're just gonna tank terribly, and other companies are gonna take notice of that and be like, okay, let's not do what they did because we don't want that to happen to us. So it's gonna take something like that, some kind of, but it's not gonna be like a concerted effort where people like get together and say, yeah, we're gonna boycott this. I would love to think that gamers are as united as that, but that's not something I see happening. Maybe they might surprise me, but I think it's just more believable to me that somebody's going to make a remake and it's going to do really bad, and then people are going to be like, yeah, we're not going to do those anymore because they're going to be scared.
Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. So let's switch the conversation real quick, right? I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the point of, you know, the contention in Ukraine and what's going on with Russia. Right. So I was having this conversation with my brother, shout out to Len, by the way. And this is where my thought process went with this, right? Do you think the people in Russia agree with what their president is doing?
That's a pretty deep question,
right? Because they're not a monolith, right? I'd like to believe that they're not a monolith,
right? And I've had this conversation, well, not this specific conversation, but it kind of ties into it. For those who, I may have probably mentioned this before, but I go to school for film, and so I have a business of film class. And when you look at when people like because right now they have like places where that screen films from like upcoming filmmakers or from like just like award shows and stuff like that, where people can get eyes on their movies. They're banning like Russian filmmakers, and it's not so much to say that, oh, we believe you support whatever's going on, because you can have your own opinion. Everybody's like you said, they're not a monolith, but it's more of, if we support you, the money that you get from that support has to go back to your government through taxes or you know, whatever the case may be. So it's like a really, really long like list of things that they just happen to be at the short end of the stick for, and it's unfortunate because I think like Netflix.
That's where I was going. So here's the rationale behind that question, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of big companies in the industry decided to like no longer support Russia in terms of like doing trades in Russia, right? Xbox, Activision, Blizzard being a number of them, and I think a few other like big gaming developers, but companies in general. But like let's focus on gaming right now, right?
Yeah.
And the question I asked, do you think that everyone in that country deserves that kind of?
Definitely not. But it's just an unfortunate circumstance, because I can see the rationale for why these companies wouldn't want to like continue operating there, because it doesn't look good on them in a sense, because any profit they make, kind of like their trade in general, just it's like it's not just, oh, we're making money from these people. Like the people also make money by them being there, like just them operating in their country, paying like I said, paying these taxes, or just making just having a relationship with these people, right? Like there are consequences that come from that it just so happens that they just feel like, okay, hey, we gotta, for our own brand, for our own personal feelings about the situation, whatever the case may be, we got to pull back from this market, right? And unfortunately, citizens are going to suffer from that. So I can understand the rationale, and I my heart goes out to the Russian people who are feeling this way, who may not support what's going on. But for these companies, business is business, bro. They're not really thinking about. I don't think they're really thinking about, oh, the citizen's not gonna be able to do this. They're really thinking about
bottom line. They're worried about their bottom line.
Yeah. So, and unfortunately, when, let's say this conflict blows over, people who stayed in Russia, people are gonna remember that. It's like a telltale game. It's like,
right.
The U.S. is going to remember that, and people are not willing to piss off the rest of the world to keep that dollar. So it's like, it might seem like, oh, they're making the right decision, but at the end of the day, my cynical opinion is that they're just doing it because it would look bad if they didn't. And yeah, it's unfortunate for the citizens, but people are putting up charity efforts as well, which is like more, I feel like has more of a problem. I would hope to have more of an effect, but in terms of just like putting sanctions and pulling out of certain markets, the thought behind it is just the money is going to go to the government, and the money that the government gets is going to go to the army, and they want to try to cut their ties to that,
right?
Because for sure, if like after all this happens, what, like, let's hope, I'm praying that like this is resolved quickly. After the fact, people are gonna be like, well, you remember such and such company, their money went to blah blah blah, and then so they're also culpable for these crimes,
right?
So, and people just want to have their hands clean of that, and the citizens are gonna suffer for it, and it's super duper unfortunate situation. I'm praying for them. Let's hope that this can be resolved peacefully.
Right. But yeah, bro, that's really what I have for today. I feel like today was a shorter show.
Yeah, we don't have, our cohort Espada with us today. We miss you, brother. Come back. But we definitely should have more to look forward to. I believe there are a couple of events.
Yeah, coming up.
They're coming up soon, so we'll definitely have more of a stack show. And right now, just in terms of games, like Elden Ring is kind of taking up like all of the traffic.
Yeah,
honestly.
In terms of news, yeah, bro.
Yeah, so
and I feel like I'm gonna actually start streaming a lot more too. I feel like because I just started my Twitch account. Yeah, you guys can check me out. Sorry.
It's cool. I've seen you stream a couple times. I've hopped in when I can, because I have work and stuff like that. But I've definitely seen that. We've got a couple people watching the streams. I know Espada is gonna start streaming as well, pretty often. So
yeah, I feel like I want to do a lot more of that. I kind of have a process now that I've figured out, and that's how I'm going to start doing a lot of stuff moving forward. So I'm excited. So, you guys can actually check out my Twitch. It's the same as here. It's Kashcroe at Twitch. Pretty much it.
Yeah. Look out for that. You have like a schedule that you want to...
Oh, I already put up my schedule, so you guys can actually go over there and check that out. I also started a view leaderboard over there as well. And we have tokens that you guys can also earn on my channel, which is called Cash Tokens. Cash with a K.
That's dope.
So yeah.
And don't forget the Discord, guys. You guys can hop onto the Discord, start any discussions if you have any ideas, like in terms of what things you want us to talk about, it or things that you can just talk about amongst yourselves, and we'll be in there speaking
exactly
as well. So just foster up that community, as I was even saying before.
Right.
So
yeah. And for the people who are supporting us right now and have never stopped, appreciate y'all. Love y'all.
Yeah, we see you guys in the comments. We see you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so that's it for today's show. Oh, whoa, what am I doing? Wait a minute. What is our game of the week?
Game of the week. Man, I did Souls likes last week. Man, I don't know, Bloodborne. I think we should definitely. So
here's the thing. This is why I know, bro. That's what I was thinking of streaming on.
Bloodborne?
Yeah, I was thinking of streaming Bloodborne.
That's interesting because a lot of people have actually been going back to Bloodborne since Elden Ring came out because they're saying that it's like the most like reminiscent out of all the other Souls likes. I mean, not Souls likes, so Dark Souls games. Bloodborne is the closest to Elden Ring right now.
Yeah, and that's not even why. I feel like someone, again, Bobby mentioned it to me, so it was like, it's like one of the easiest ones to pick up and just go into.
It's funny because one of the streamers that I was watching playing it, he feels like Bloodborne is actually the hardest in terms of difficulty. But regardless,
I mean, I played Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, even though it's not as hard, but I played Fallen Order, so I kind of have an understanding of what to expect. But yeah, I'm jumping in there. Wednesdays, I'm actually starting to stream retro games.
Got you. Okay.
So one of my first retro games I'm thinking of doing is actually Contra.
Okay. Contra. So we just fuck the controllers. We're gonna break them today. That's what you are.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
I see you.
That's one
Have
thing I
fun
want to
with
do.
that.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember didn't we have? I know there was an not an arcade, but like the machine at the tuck shop across the street from where we used to live, and they had Contra on it.
Yeah.
And I think
that's one, the Super Contra.
Yes, and I think we either had the emulator or
no, I had the game. I ended up getting it for the Super Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah, and we definitely was playing that. That
game was hard too.
Have fun. Contra's the original Dark Souls.
Yeah, bro, for sure.
The original fucking.
So
Dark
that's
Souls.
what to play this week.
Yes.
Contra and Bloodborne.
Yes, sir. Have fun with that. Let us know how that goes.
Right. Again, we don't have any gameplay of the week. But again, you guys can drop them in our Discord, or you could just tag us anywhere, and we'll see them, and you will get featured on the show.
Right. Just reach out. We'll always, talk back.
Right. So now for our quote of the week, and you know how we do it. It's with a video game twist.
Right.
Death is inevitable. Our fear of it makes us play safe. Blocks out emotions. It's a losing game without passion. You're already dead. Well, that's it for today's show. It's been your boy Dre. Thank you guys for watching.
Shaquan.
Stay awesome, stay safe, and like always, play on, play up. Peace.